So I thought you were a busy man for the AJ White press conference, but I think you're even busier for this one. It's been a long day, is it not?
Yeah, it's like actually it's been busier than the AJ White press conference, ironically. But yeah, I think obviously this turn of events has caused a lot of media attention. The change of the opponent, all of that, and also a big undercard as well, who are here in attendance today. So yeah, I think just glad to be here, glad to be alive, and glad to be anticipating what I think will be a big show on Saturday.
Speaking of the change of opponent, financially for AJ, is it a setback in the money, or is he still getting the same money you would have got for?
No, a lot less. I mean, obviously it's off pay-per-view, which makes a big difference. But it's not. I wouldn't say it's not about the money, because the fighter always has to be looked after in that respect. But there's more to it than the money. There's the training camp that I'm not sure what that cost him, but a lot of money. But it's also the progression under Derek James. So it's obviously moving forward and being in the right frame of mind and ready to fight Deontay Wilder, but also making sure that all the work that he's done in camp doesn't just go to pot. And he was adamant that he wanted to fight.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but when you had the conversation with him initially about Helenius, was he sort of against the idea, or was he up for it?
No, actually, before Dillian Whyte failed his test, or actually, sorry, before he signed his agreement, which we weren't sure previously he would, we'd already agreed terms with Helenius and Caballero. Caballero was actually AJ's pick because obviously Helenius fought Wilder and that ended quickly. But we'd agreed a price with both of those guys. When Dillian Whyte was out of the fight, we went back to those two guys. Helenius asked for more money than he agreed, but Caballero asked for nearly double what he agreed. So because the fight was off pay-per-view, that was almost out of the running. Spoke to Helenius, he said, look, if I win on Saturday, this was 2 hours before his fight, I want to fight AJ. I know his people, I knew he'd sign the contract, I knew he'd get on a plane the next day, and it was there to be done. And you can't wait for the perfect moment in this kind of thing. You've got to take the moment and make it perfect, and this was the best that we could come up with, the most credible we could come up with, and I think it's a good fight.
Touching on Dillian there, I know the first ban that you had was a stimulant, I believe, a pre-workout. The second was an anabolic steroid. Is there any word?
There's no ban for the second.
Yeah. You got it. For this one, is there any sort of idea if it's similar to the past two or not?
No, I mean, I've already been made aware of the confidentiality around the test from Dillian's team, so I can't give you any more information other than we received the test results and the fight the contract was terminated.
Eddie, with obviously the Wilder fight potentially coming next, is this the riskiest fight you've ever promoted, considering the fact that if AJ, it's a bit like when Tommy Morrison fought, I can't remember his name, Michael Sport, and lost, and then the Lennox Lewis 12 million fight went down.
Yeah, I mean we're talking a lot more than 12 million as well, but at the same time, there's a lot of similarities between the Ruiz situation. So firstly, the fighter failed a drugs test and was out of the fight. That was Jarrell Miller. We had 3 weeks that time, and we went with Andy Ruiz. And all of that fight week, the only thing people were talking about was AJ Wilder and when that fight was happening. Obviously, he lost. The Wilder fight disappeared, but he did make a lot of money in the rematch, so it was all right in the end. But this is a bit different. If he loses to Robert Helenius, I'm not sure the direction we take from there. And whatever you think about Helenius, know one thing, he's an absolute lump and he can punch. And he will try to win the fight. He won't take a knee, he won't not try and win, he'll let his hands go until he gets knocked out in the fight. So AJ's got to be switched on. It is a big risk because, in answer to the question, the money is different. But I still go along the lines of, if you can't beat Robert Helenius, you ain't beating Deontay Wilder. And we're in these fights to win, not to get paid. And I think he wants to showcase everything he's been working with Derek James.
And a couple of years ago, with the whole Wilder thing, it was a lot pie in the sky. It was a lot of speculation. Whereas it seems like now it's a lot more concrete. So will you be watching on with this fight any differently to how you've watched on other AJ fights?
Always nervous. In heavyweight boxing, anything could happen. Saudis are flying over to try and conclude the deal. It's like, come on, let's not slip up now. And we've got a chance to make one of the biggest fights in heavyweight history. And all he's got to do is come through Saturday night, and I think we'll get there.
How quickly can a fight be signed? Agreed?
There's already been a lot of work behind the scenes, months of discussions. So we could get a deal done Sunday, Monday, but I don't think that's going to be the case. But the intention is to come over and at least agree a deal whilst they're here. But he's got to win first on Saturday.
Did you speak to Shelley or anyone about trying to bring Deontay?
No, I don't think. I think at that level, until a fight's signed, you just don't go. Do you know what I mean?
But there is something about getting someone in the ring and facing them off, though, isn't there?
Well, I mean, Usyk did it with Fury. Do you know what I mean? That didn't work. So I think sometimes, in a fighter's mind, especially at that level, it's not like they're chasing fights or paydays. They just say, yeah, once I get the contract and I sign, I'll be there and I'll be in his face. But I ain't flying over there, getting the ring, calling him out if we don't even know what's happening. So, you know, I don't expect to see Wilder there. He's more than welcome.
Yeah, I don't remember these guys.
And you touched on it there, but I hate to put it down on things as well, but is retirement seriously on the cards if AJ can't get past Helenius?
Maybe. I mean, I think AJ physically good place, mentally great place, loves to fight, but it would be down to what kind of fights do you want to be in, and he wants to be in the biggest fights, and if he loses to Helenius, that might not be an option.
On a different note, your business partner Jake Paul got another win over the weekend.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on that fight with Diaz?
Great event. You know, I mean, look, fight-wise, it's poor. You know, but the events are great, the numbers are great, and he's taking it seriously. He respects the sport, and good luck to him. Another
one of your business partners, Conor McGregor. Jake actually played down a fight with him and said his end goal is still Canelo. Is that something in your mind which is still laughable?
Yeah, of course it is. I mean, you know, Jake couldn't win an English title, let alone fight Canelo Alvarez, but he might end up getting a fight in this mad world we live in. But Conor's going to be there on Saturday, obviously supporting the event. I don't really know what he's up to, but I guess he'll want to fight sometime soon.
Given how he was at the Katie Taylor fight, I'm sure you're expecting quite an animated Conor.
Absolutely, full of energy.
Is there annoyances from your side of the fact that the opposite react for fight not being able to be made?
Mental. I don't know why fighters are allowing themselves to get talked out of taking an opportunity of a lifetime, a dream chance, win the Ring magazine belt, IBF, and then you have to put a statement out saying you didn't want to be messed around anymore. The purse bid was in 3 hours' time. I can't understand what's going on, and no one really is even picking up on it because it's not Matchroom. So I feel sorry for Richard Riakporhe, I feel sorry for Fraser Clark. They're losing out on massive money, life-changing opportunities, and I couldn't believe it.
Is the same thing happening with Wardley versus Adelaide?
No, I think they'll do a deal. You know, we'll either go to purse bid or Fabio will do a deal with Queensbury to do the fight. I don't think Frank will do a deal with DAZN, as always. Apparently it's always my fault, but this is what these guys are up to at the moment. So Fabio will either take a deal there or we'll go to purse bid. But you won't see him pull out of the fight. I would never let a fighter pull out of the fight.
And so just one more for me, just from 2023 as a whole, boxing, it's been competitive, lots of big fights being made, and is it nice to have that competitive aspect between you and the likes of PBC and the likes of...
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not competitive in the UK really, but internationally it's very competitive, and we're second or third this year, and I don't want to be second or third, I want to be number one. We were number one in America last year, unquestionably, but PBC have had a great year. We've got some big fights coming up. Hopefully we now Haney against Prograis, Belanga against Munguia. We've got a lot of work to do. Big fights coming up in the UK, and just want to see AJ get the win on Saturday.
Cheers.